Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
All of our guests today, including Jamie McLennan down in Florida. Sponsored by Basant Motors. Getting to your destination starts with us. Jamie's standing by. At Basant, find the best deals, largest selection, and best financing. Visit Basant Motors, BASANT Motors.com. Game 7, Panthers and Oilers tonight in Sunrise, Florida. And here to talk about it, Noodles from TSN, the former Panther, born and raised in Edmonton. Jamie McLennan, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing today?
Very, very well. I think I've got this right. You've talked about this before on our show about being a big fan of Grant Fuhr's growing up. You were 19, although this is Bill Ranford in goal for the Oilers in this particular case. You were 19 when the Oilers last won a cup back in 1990. Edmonton kid. I think you were playing junior hockey in Lethbridge at the time. What do you remember about that, Jamie?
Well, I remember I was fortunate enough to be friends with Billy Ranford because I worked his goalie school in the summer. So at the Sylvan Lake Goalie School. So, getting an opportunity to see Billy march. And again, I think I've told you, and I, in that introduction, it's 100% true. I was never an Oiler fan, but I was more of a fan of players. So it was Grant Fuhr, and then obviously getting to know Billy. And Billy's a good friend, and getting to play with Grant in St. Louis. It's always nice to see your friends have success. That being said, I'm a former Panther as well. So I'm trying to be, it's crazy because I am actually Switzerland right now. I've kind of got to be neutral because I've got friends on both sides. But I am excited for the game tonight. I like the fact that it went Game 7. I know it's a different pathway to arrive here, but I always felt this was going to be a long series anyway. So a coin flip heading into tonight, and we'll see who shows up. And this is how legacies are really, etched in stone as guys can really turn the corner, whether it's Barkov or Bobrovsky or whether it's McDavid and Stuart Skinner. So we'll see how it goes.
You mentioned Fuhr and Ranford. You're a former goaltender yourself. Let's stay on that theme. What have the Oilers done to solve Sergei Bobrovsky?
I think one of the things they've done is they got traffic in front of him. And I liked how, with the adjustments, they've started to elevate the puck a little bit, and they've shot the puck quicker. And what I mean by that is Bobrovsky in the first couple games had a chance to be ultra aggressive. So when he was aggressive, the Oilers were kind of trying to shoot around him, and he was making the saves. When they started to get to him, they were shooting quicker, and he wasn't able to take that step out and take away some of the net. And when you were getting him moving, you're elevating it once you moved instead of just him with his ultimate flexibility from side to side. He was making those pad saves. The Connor Brown shorthanded goal comes to mind where he gets around that right pad. Zach Hyman last game, the breakaway, goes to the right side but elevates it over the right pad. So just small adjustments, and Edmonton's found a way to get to him. And, we'll see if he tries to turn back the clock to a Game 1 or if Edmonton can continue to find the back of the net.
Jamie, down 3-0 in this series, but the Oilers are 5-0 in elimination games. What is it about this team that they just don't give up?
It's weird. I think it's almost like they're a team that needs resilience, that needs to finally go, okay, we better wake up to get going here. And that's kind of been this series has been a microcosm of their season, really. They started slow. I know McDavid and Draisaitl came into training camp and asked all the guys to be there early, and they were focused, and then they just have this terrible start to 2-9 or whatever, 2-9-1 or something like that, and Jay Woodcroft gets fired, and they can't seem to buy a win early on. And then the coaching change, you got better play from guys, and you could argue that McDavid was hurt in that, so he didn't look right. Draisaitl was struggling. All their top players just weren't playing to their capability. But they've been a resilient team. And it's funny because I'll go back to Chris Knobloch's comments down 3-0, and he said this team has had several stretches where they've won a bunch of games in a row. And he pointed to 16-0, 8-0, and 4-0, I believe. Or 5-0. and he said, I'm looking forward to the challenge of the next 10 days. Well, this is the 10th day, and you know what? They've willed themselves back into this series, and they've got an opportunity to, rewrite history, but also, cement some legacies for a guy like Connor McDavid, who, we all know he's a Hall of Famer, but this would be a pretty amazing comeback for the Oilers and especially the superstar.
Well, let's talk about the superstar. No points and no goals in Game 6. They still won. That's pretty impressive, Jamie. The season on the line and your top guy doesn't score or get a point and you still win.
Yeah, and they didn't need him. I thought Draisaitl, I said going into the game, we all know Draisaitl's hurting. Everybody in Edmonton that are kind of in the know are saying, wait until you hear what this guy's playing with. So, at the end of the day, you knew that he wanted to enter the situation. He set the tone the other night with a beautiful pass to Foegele. He was moving his legs. He looked like he was engaged. It looks like there's some form. I think there's a splint on the finger. So there's a hand injury where he's usually so strong on draws, right? And, at the end of the day, this is a guy who, again, it's if you pick your poison, you need one game out of somebody. You probably circle 97 and 29 and see what can you do. But on the other side, it's Barkov and it's Bobrovsky and some of these top players that help them get to 3-0. So, the star power, there's no short of it tonight. But I look at, McDavid the other night. They didn't need him, although I thought he played very well defensively and used his legs. And to me, that's one thing that Edmonton's done very well is push the pace up on Florida and really kind of hem them in their own zone a few times where, Florida had that answer in those first 3 games.
What about team speed, Jamie? Has that allowed the Oilers to come back? They seem a lot faster than Florida.
Yeah, that's the one thing. And Ekblad, no secret, I think he's playing with some sort of an ankle injury. The third goal the other day, Hyman breakaway, where Nugent Hopkins blocks the puck and then Hyman's off to the races and Forsling tries to wedge him off. Ekblad, if he's 100%, he could probably keep up there, but Hyman just ended up ahead of him. So, when this is all over, we'll find a list of injuries. You always hear about them. Yep. But, certainly that bigger D on the back end for Florida has been exposed a little bit. The Mikkola kid and Forsling has been, we talked about it heading into the finals. Forsling was a master at shutting down top players, but so far Edmonton's speed has been able to get to that D of the Panthers, and the Panthers really haven't had an answer for it. So we'll see if they have any type of adjustments tonight as they try and stop the bleeding, we'll call it.
I don't know if it would be the right time to do this, but have you been in touch with your old buddy, Roberto Luongo?
Yes and no. I'll be honest, I've left kind of all my friends on both sides alone the last couple days. Mm-hmm. But I have seen them face to face. I've run in, had my conversations with guys on both sides, with the Panthers and the Oilers. But the last couple days, I purposely have gone radio silent on them just to allow them to go through the process. So, but I have had good chats with Louis, and I've had good chats with people in Edmonton as well. So now it's just kind of like, hurry up and wait. Let's get this thing over and see how it unfolds. I know it's been intriguing from the people watching. I think it's been good for hockey, put it that way.
What happens tonight, Jamie?
I don't know. Honestly, I was asked that this morning. All signs point to Edmonton, and then Florida has been a resilient team as well. So maybe Florida stuns the hockey world and doesn't lose 4 in a row. Bobrovsky can steal a game. Barkov can cement his legacy as not an underrated player anymore, right on the biggest stage. I wouldn't count. I think this is a coin flip game. And you know what? If I'm predicting anything, it might not be the star players that we're talking about. Yeah. It might be a Derek Ryan, Corey Perry game-winning goal. Or on the other side, I think Opozo's coming in for Cousins. So it might be so it might be a Stenlin or a Pozo goal type of thing. It might not be the cast of characters that we talk about. As we all talk about legacies and guys who make a name for themselves, it would be nice for somebody that gets that game-winning goal or difference-making play. It might be just 97 or it might be 16 on Florida, but it also could be a depth player that we don't talk about much.
What a night it's going to be. Jimmy, we know you're so busy. We thank you so much for helping us out again. Have a great time tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet.